Welcome back to the Rugby Social. Thanks for joining. Just seen the rumor about Wasps potentially joining the United Rugby Championship. And whilst that's great news for Wasps if they get re-established as a professional club, that really got me thinking. And that got me thinking that if we can allow for one English club to join the URC, does that then open the floodgates? And is there an argument for merging both the URC and the English Premiership together? So I'm going to explore that in this video. I'm going to give you 3 reasons why I think it could be a good idea, but please let me know what you think. Have I gone completely mad? Is this insane? Or do you think it's a good idea? Please do get stuck into the comments. From my perspective, English rugby is really on a precipice at the moment. They've lost 4 professional teams in the last 18 months or so. And lots of other teams are supposedly rumoured as struggling financially. Obviously, Wasps were one of those teams that disappeared. And there's also a real strange dynamic where championship clubs that are doing well, like Ealing, aren't granted the opportunity to get promoted into the English Rugby Premiership because of infrastructure issues. So, there's a lot of trouble in the English club game at the moment. And similarly within the URC, there is some issues as well. Certainly the Welsh regions have been struggling financially. They've not been able to contract as many players as they had previously. And certainly the terms of those contracts aren't as good as they were. And also you've got things like Scotland. So Scotland have got their 2 regions. Back in 2007, they had 3 regions with Border Reivers, and there's always been talk about can Scottish rugby sustain a 3rd region as well. So for me, there are lots of reasons why there could be an argument for doing this. So let's go to the first reason. I think there's an argument to say if we merge the 2 leagues together, put in a similar format to what's in France with the top 14 and the 2 league, put in some promotion and relegation, that we're really going to start to improve and intensify the quality of rugby that these clubs are playing. Now, I say that for a number of reasons. First of all, I think if there was promotion and relegation, which obviously the URC doesn't have at the moment, and the English Premiership doesn't really have it either, because of those hurdles I've already talked about, there's going to be some extra, I guess, purpose to many of those games. If you think about teams like Newcastle or say a Dragons or a Zebra, a lot of games they play, they turn up knowing they're going to get beaten. Yes, they try hard. Yes, they do their best. They know they're going to get beaten. And therefore, I'm sure their games drop off. So I think it would create more competition, more intensity. I think the other thing that it would do as well is, if you had this standardized home nations league structure, it would also mean for the likes of Gregor Townsend, he could have all of his Scottish players available like all of the other players are available, even if they are playing for clubs in another country. So that was reason number 1 in terms of improves the quality and the intensity of the rugby. So reason number 2, I think it provides clubs with a better opportunity to broaden their audience, get more people through the gates, and gives them opportunities for more commercial opportunities. Straight away, I just think about there will be clubs that I would get the chance to go and see and that I don't at the moment. And that is exciting as a rugby fan. Seeing new clubs play, different places is all great news. And I think also it gives the opportunity to really kind of bring the expat communities on board. So, for example, if a Leinster or a Munster is travelling to a London club, I think there's plenty of people who would go and see that match who can't usually travel to support clubs that are back in Ireland when they're based in the UK. So I think that's exciting. I also think one of the real successes of English club rugby over the last few years has been the big matches that are played at the larger venues. So Saracens have been visiting the Tottenham Stadium. Quins go to Twickenham and play a match there. These are getting huge crowds, 50, 60, 70,000 people. And I think having some of these new fixtures will provide more opportunity for some of those bigger games. So I think, there's a good chance that we'll bring people through the gates because there'll be some new, more interesting clubs to play. I also think that some of those perhaps iconic matchups provide more opportunities for other investment to come into the game, more sponsorship. I also think it would make a much more interesting TV deal as well. So those are my thoughts there. Again, love to know what you think. Please do let me know in the comments. And whilst you're there, please do like and subscribe. Trying to reach as many rugby fans as I can. I absolutely love talking about rugby. I hope you do too. So any support you can give me there will be much appreciated. My third reason is it really is a start to streamline and coordinate the club or the home nations club rugby into one calendar. Now, there's lots of talk about a world rugby calendar. This would be a good step to that. You know, all of a sudden, everything's lined up to support the Six Nations, also to support British and Irish Lions. You know, the whole thing could be structured and administrated around that. I think the other thing it does as well is the less administrative bodies we've got in professional rugby, the better. So if there are no longer two leagues vying to sort of get things set up how they'd like them set up, I think that would be a really positive thing. So I think it really sort of slickens everything and just puts, I say European club rugby, maybe, but at least home nations club rugby on a much better, more simplistic footing. Whilst I think there are a lot of merits for merging the two leagues together, obviously it comes with some downsides too. The first one that screams out at me is it's going to really, I guess, weaken the European competition. So the European Champions Cup, European Challenge Cup will not be as special as they are right now. And perhaps with some tweaking to the format of those competitions, that can lend itself to a better fan experience as well. So that's number one. Number two, I think, you know, wearing a fan's hat, and obviously, I guess anybody watching that probably is a rugby fan. It's going to increase our travel expenses. So if you like to follow your club home and away, those away trips are likely to get more expensive, you know. And I guess probably in the United Rugby Championship, that's already something that's out there. You know, there's opportunities to travel to different countries and South Africa. But from an English perspective, currently we're just traveling around English clubs. So the expenses would go up there. I guess also there would be a knock-on impact for the expenses to the clubs themselves. Again, more travel costs. But hopefully that sort of thing would be offset by more fixtures, some better fixtures, more competitive fixtures. So on balance, you know, I don't know. I think there's a real good argument for this. But again, love to know what you think. Is this the thing that could revamp club rugby in amongst the home nations? I think it could do, but yeah, love to know what you think. Please do leave a comment, as I say, and yeah, please do like and subscribe. Thank you for watching, and see you on the next one.